day, people. If you remember that back in September last year, I predicted that YawnForge would not make it to launch. It would probably not make it to beta. So far, I've been right, but my way of thinking about this is different, right? So a lot of people would think about this from whether this game has enough content or whether it has enough consumer need. But it's really not about that. If it's about consumer need, the answer is yes. There's a huge need for a better game than Raid. If it's about whether it has enough content, content can always be made, but it's whether it's the right content. And in order to do something correctly, you need the right people. And the right people is not about people who are gamers. Everyone's a fucking gamer. Who hasn't played computer games? Who doesn't play a lot of computer games that want to make computer games? Who makes computer games that doesn't play games? I mean, it's ridiculous proposition, right? It's about people who have emotional intelligence to understand a very multifaceted human psychology about desire. It's about having then the ability to come up with business models that can attract significant investment for something like this. And then about being able to take on criticism in the right way and refine and make a better game or product or service. And it's not easy, right? Like, no one is saying that, hey, someone else will just do a better job. They won't. But I just don't think this team that they have at Fateless is even close. No. Just 10 seconds analysis, no. Partly because I know how they play Raid, but partly just from listening to them, it's just no. I mean, just a little shop in the corner of a market, maybe it's okay, but no, this is quite a complex operation. I mean, you can define the complexity and the seriousness of operation by the kind of dollar value that you would need in cash. And this is definitely in the millions regime, right? And if you think about millions regime, what's the equivalent that you can do that people perhaps know better of? I mean, you're talking about making the initial startup cash to require to prototype new cars or mini aircrafts. I mean, are these people up to this? No. Anyway, so we're now May. This is a video I didn't want to make simply because it's just, what do I get out of this? Right? I'm not a content creator. I've got a proper job, pretty well paid job actually. So, but people on Discord thinks that they want to listen to me. So okay, all right. After work, there's no harm, right? Okay. So apparently, starter heroes are revealed. I mean, I like
Hey guys, this is Simon from Fateless. Today we're going to be going through the starter heroes at your disposal when you start YawnForge. This is going to be the same starter heroes that you will be able to select for the...
I mean, one of the criticisms leveled at YawnForge is the poor animation quality. And of course that can be improved, right, over time. No one imagines this will be at launch or forever. But given how much, and people kind of know this, right? Given how much you've spent on animations, it's not great, right? And we know animation's perhaps not even the most important thing. It's actually gameplay.
Which is due to come through in July as well, if we stay on track. We've seen a lot of speculation, whether it's H-Lock, Gecko Mayhem, who else has been doing it? Ragewood, Adventure of Adams, Optimized Gaming, a bunch of the different content creators who have been following.
Yeah, with like 5 followers each, and one of them made this really weird video. One of them, I think, is an ex-US Marine oh God, you'd be surprised how many ex-US Marines there are in gacha games. It's ridiculous. And he was like, um, and the game, he hasn't even played like Godforge, okay? And he wrote this like US Marine tactics in World War II approach to winning every battle in Godforge. And I was like, why would there be any equivalence to a game that perhaps will never launch to US Marine tactics on the beach of Normandy in World War II? That is the level of, thinking in this game community.
GodForge are doing videos on a kind of weekly basis. We had one yesterday from Charlie Magni. I think that's how you say it. I don't know if I.
No one cares. Like honestly, just show us some gameplay. Honestly, that we haven't seen before.
Right, but anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I remember when Ash accidentally said, he goes on their podcast, he goes, the best thing you guys ever done is the podcast. What Ash meant to say was the podcast is probably the highlight of what you've done. But what he actually said was, this is the best thing you've ever done. And he immediately backtracked. He goes, well, no, you've done other great things, obviously. And you couldn't really name anything. Ash knows what he's talking about.
About who they're going to be. So let's take you through kind of like the tutorial experience and yeah, what we're going to expect.
In the last video I made, and I've made some reaction videos to GodForge in between, and I just deleted my own videos after. It's just so boring. Like, it is just so boring. At this point when I was watching this, and this is only my second watch, right? Like, first time I did go through it, right? Most of my reaction videos is first time. This is second time, right? Because I had a little hay fever cough on the first time making it, so I'm just making it again. I just started trying to check my emails for work, and I didn't have any. And I was just like, oh, that's how boring this is.
So you start off with our cool opening cinematic.
This is cool. I love this.
You know what? I've not watched this in a little while. Let's just watch it through again.
Yeah, it's cool.
It does set the scene. Rah, giving someone the smackdown.
Not sure what Ra's doing in like some frozen northern village, but okay.
It's too good. I love it.
Yeah, it's good, but just if you've seen this a million times, like how Hades, maybe just chill.
I love it.
The song is very good.
Gilgamesh having a chat with the crow. Brunhild getting ready for battle.
So, the person who did all this is of a higher caliber.
Let's go.
If the game was like this, it would be quite amazing.
Wow. So we'll kick it off. So we will open with the cinematic. For those people that have seen it already, it's fully skippable and you can go straight into the cinematic. But ultimately, Brunhild has just tried to fight Ra. Ra's giving it the big un, and Brunhild needs some support. And what better than to be supported by 3 starter heroes? So first off, Hell's Blood Ramses. Is there no end?
So Brunhilde is their arbiter.
Ramses needs to step up. Ra's chosen will fall Valkyr, just like the others. We get a core ability off. There's still a couple of little bugs in here, but he takes a few down. Guan Yu then steps up and says, one still stands, allow me. And basically what we're doing here is we're just showing you what different abilities exist in the game, right? The basics of gameplay.
Why are we culturally displacing Guan Yu so much? He is one of the number one, maybe top three cultural heroes in Chinese ancient civilization. He's like King Arthur, that level of hero. And so is Ramses, I'm sure. Um, so, their abilities and their esteem held in people's hearts really has to be roughly correct, right? And if you do shitty starter champions with shitty generic abilities and hitting things on like, allow me to kill something on one hit point, it's not the kind of thing of heroes. And it's that level of kindergarten conversation and lack of intelligence that is just symptomatic of bad game design.
So I've got a basic ability that just takes one down, and we move on to the next wave. And our third starter hero, Lady Zoc, or Jock.
Oh, you can hear a little bit of KekForge music like Raid has.
Chock, I think it is, steps up and says, "They seem eager for death. How strange, but I will oblige." And she comes in with her ultimate ability, and it just shows you that there's a third skill available for each of the heroes. It's a very basic tutorial. Ra then comes in to lay down the smack.
Oh, I remember there was a whole video dedicated to just him jumping up and down.
And
how Hades loves it. Oh, big champion lands. Wow.
move on to kind of like the basics of summoning. So we'll let Ra do his hit, and I like this one actually.
So this is like the dragon in Raid. Maybe it will just eat Guan Yu or something.
We'll snuff out your flickering light, godling. Flickering light, feel the power of the sun. And Ra smacks everyone down, and we move on. We then move on to the hero select screen, which is actually being completely changed, but the vibe is still the same. You confirm who you are, and you will get a choice of 3 of the starter heroes. And when you go into each hero, it will give you a breakdown of their skills, and you can kind of like choose which one you want to go for. So we're going to go into that skill break.
So even the starters already have 3 abilities and 1 passive ability. Oof. Imagine how many abilities their more advanced champions will have.
In this video. Okay, so we do have a new Sanctum screen. It is still...
This is much better than the one before.
It's been made into 3D right now, but this one's kind of like closer to the finished piece that we're after. This is the actual 2D artist mock-up, and making sure that all of the elements are in the right place. And, we're no longer using sort of AI generated stuff for this, which is cool. Yeah, a lot of these screens are being redone right now, ready for the alpha. So let's go into the hero screen quick. You can see as well, a bunch of these different screens are being worked upon right now and improved. So let's check out our 3 starter heroes. Let's start then with Guan Yu. So Guan Yu, they're all rares, obviously. Guan Yu is a rare. He is...
Guan Yu is a rare. Oh, Lord.
A slayer who basically specializes in damage. He is from the Order faction.
That is correct. He is a slayer. He is from Order. That is correct.
Or alignment. Let's go into his abilities here. So he has got a 20% in all battles increase attack ability. His basic Cold Steel attacks an enemy for X damage. Obviously, that will say what it is.
So Cold Steel should refer maybe to his actual weapon, which is like a jade blue, a very unique color weapon, very powerful weapon.
We do have a little details button that tells you like the percentage multiplier from his attack stats.
I'm assuming that the drain ability, the self-sustain, is a nod to his legendary battles where he went through so many castles and killed so many top generals. And he was actually poisoned by an arrow, and they had to graft his bone to get rid of the poison. So maybe that drain is some nod to his sustain. Let's have a look.
There's 300% attack multiplier. Still some weirdness here, but we know about it. If the target is under drain, deals additional damage equal to 5% of the target's max HP. So you've got enemy max HP.
Oh, it's just a PvE boss ability. It has nothing to do with the cultural heritage.
Drain is out there. So for the core ability then, Crescent Slash. On a 4-turn cooldown, attacks all enemies for 400% attack and has an additional 25% chance to strong hit an enemy. If the enemy is defeated, reduces the cooldown of this ability by a turn. And then we've got his ultimate ability here, Frostfair Blade Dance.
What is that? Like, there's nothing in Chinese lore that is about Frostfair Blade Dance. Oh, God. 4 random enemies. Oh, Lord.
It costs 1,000 divinity to activate the ult. He attacks 4 enemies at random for X damage, 120 times percent of attack. Each attack a 35% chance to place drain on a target. So you can pretty much spread drain all over the place, which obviously helps that A1 ability. And how do you gain divinity here? You're gaining it through defeating enemies. His passive skill, which if you've understood the imprints system we've got, basically part of your passive can be imprinted onto any weapon down the line. So sometimes rares might just be strong for you because of their passives. But this passive here, Relentless Resolve, I don't think there's anything else in the details here, deals 20% increased damage to enemies under drain. So you could also synergize this with someone else who applies like an AoE drain as a base skill and then just ramp your damage up in general. So Lady Zoc also got the same aura. Lady Shock, I think it should be. Looking pretty sweet. A basic ability then. Attack an enemy for 300% of your attack. Then has a 35...
Honestly, how long do I have? Like a third left. I don't know what's worse. Having Raid read back to me Polara, the new Mythical's abilities, or having Hell Hades read rare champions in Kegforge. Oh, I might pull some weeds out of the garden. I think that's actually way more exciting.
Chance to place bleed on the enemy. For the core ability, Vision Serpent attacks all enemies for 400% attack.
Why does this read really similar to Guan Yu's ability?
And has an additional 25% chance to strong hits. If the enemy is defeated, place speed up 2 on this hero for 2 turns. And then we've got...
Sorry, I can't watch this anymore. This is just so boring.
Enemy for 2 turns. On stroke playtesting, different camera views for people that are looking for that. It's definitely on our radar. Let's start with the... let's start with the Guan Yu base ability, actually. Basic ability comes in with the smack. Now let's jump to the core ability.
Was that a weak hit? How does affinity work here?
We get the swing and down they go. And then on to the ultimate ability here, where he gives the jump in, brings down all the spears of...
Oh, that looks terrible.
It's
a little bit like Tron, you know, like 70s electronic sci-fi kind of.
Oh. A smack. Obviously, also with the ability to place Drain, which will empower our A1 ability as well. Right then, onto Lady Shock. Coming in with her basic ability, gives people the smackdown. We've got her core ability here, coming in with the big baseball bat hit, taking people to the floor. And then her ultimate ability brings in the whack with the chance to apply that bleed debuff. Lastly, let's check out Ramsey's End with his A1 ability. We've seen it now a few times, but...
Sorry, I actually fell asleep there for a second.
We then get his core ability.
Guys, I actually fell asleep. Wow.
Coming in with the scream.
I can't even survive 11 minutes, 10 minutes without falling asleep. How do they manage to make months of this game?
Lastly, we can try his ult as well. The flail going across all enemies.
How come Ramses did 2,700 damage, whereas the others just did 400?
One shot's the lot. So I guess, who do you want to try? Who's going to be your first starter when you're playing in the Alpha experience? I've been Simon from Fateless. I'll see you soon.
Burning question.
Launch or the beta or whatever.
Jesus.
It's typically either you get like a window in April and May, and then you get like a window a little bit later, typically like October, November, like right before the holiday season, kind of right in there. So if you look at like Steam releases and like Blizzard's releases, they always hit like that May or November window. And so it was kind of just a general goal, if we could, to try to get something in that window. But one of the things we want to do at Fateless is never like force it. Like
November release for this game.
We would rather delay and do things right as opposed to rush it and do a crappy job. But it's looking like we'll be able to hit the window we wanted here, kind of in the earlier part.
Oh, no. You guys are professional. Delay and do a rubbish job. You assume just because you delay, you do a better job. Is that how Raid went? Sorry, never mind. Oh, that's me. That's enough. That's enough. I can't stay awake watching this. It's just ridiculous.